We continue to follow breaking news right now. American Airlines is dealing with serious tech issues grounding American flights nationwide. The airline says it's working to resolve the issue, but if you are flying American Airlines today, check all info for your flight before you head to the airport. With me now is NewsNation travel editor Peter Greenberg. Peter, thank you so much for joining us for this breaking story. Give me your top line thoughts for anyone who might have a flight today with American. What should they do?
Well, you got to go back and look at what American is doing and why they're doing it. They've asked actually the FAA to give them a ground stop nationwide. What a ground stop means is everything stops. No planes in, no planes out, no planes pushing back. And what this indicates is they may be having another tech issue with software, which gives the pilots the much needed information they need, whether it's weight, balance, load, routing, and of course, the information they need on weather. And you can't, if you don't have that dispatch information, you cannot get pushed back. And if you don't have the regular information you need, you can't get in. So it's a ground stop nationwide. For every hour the airline's down, you can bet about 6 hours for them to get back on track. Because remember, it's all about connectivity and how many passengers are changing planes today in Dallas and Charlotte, those two big hubs that American has. So right now, everything's on hold. We're going to hope that it's not going to be like a repeat of the debacle of 2022 at Southwest Airlines when they had an entire system meltdown that went on for days. There's every reason to believe they can fix this. But again, it's suspended animation right now. Weather notwithstanding, this is a tech issue and everything is stopped.
Peter, you mentioned Southwest Airlines, and I swear to you that was my next question because that's immediately what I thought about. And we remember all the backlash behind that because it was a complete mess. Southwest ended up paying a hefty price for that.
Yeah, they did. In fact, they're still probably paying it. But you know what? They have a large reservoir of passenger goodwill. In the American Airlines situation, this is something that we're going to have to get into because the real question that gets asked every time this happens is where's the backup system? Did they prepare for it properly? Because if you depend on just one system and it breaks, you don't have a plan B. And right now, until they fix this technical issue, nothing in American Airlines is moving. And if you're flying today on American, that means you're not moving and you don't have a plan B because all the airlines are full. So in terms of the other options that you might have. So stand by, we're checking into it, try to get as much information as we can. But right now, nothing is moving at American Airlines.
Peter, you said something that immediately rang a bell for me, and I know that those who are at home heard it as well. You mentioned how even though it's delayed right now, Nick, they can't fix this immediately. It could take up to 6 hours to get things back up and moving regularly?
Well, remember this, every time an airline shuts down an operation, that means you've got planes out of position, flights out of sequence, crews out of schedule, and you got to be able to reunite everybody. Wow. People think that, you know, when they get to Dallas to change planes, that the crew is waiting for them. No, the crew is coming in from another flight, and they're changing just like the passengers are. So this is a game of musical chairs, and right now, the music is basically stopped, and nobody's moving.
Peter, one of the questions I had when Xavier was doing his report, he talked about how some have not made it through security. Others are stuck on the tarmac. Is there a difference in what passengers may have as far as rights, depending on where they are in the system?
Interesting question. You know, the U.S. Department of Transportation has proposed a new set of rules. They haven't yet kicked in yet, but here's the interesting, the sort of angle on this. Under the new set of rules, if an airline has a problem that is caused by the airline's control, we're not talking about weather or air traffic control, but we're talking about a mechanical or a system glitch or a system failure or a missing pilot who didn't make the flight in time or any of those other issues, you are entitled to compensation if your plane is delayed more than 3 hours on a domestic flight or more than 6 hours on an international flight. But I have to give you a caution. Those rules have not yet kicked in. They won't kick in until February. Let's go back to December of 22 with Southwest Airlines. Even though those rules were not in effect then either, Southwest Airlines stepped up to the plate and made good on everybody's problems financially. They even paid for babysitters and dog sitters and alternate forms of transportation, especially on a day like today, the day before Christmas. So stand by. We'll see how quickly American can recover, at least operationally, and then what the financial hit's going to be.
And Peter, you've said before, anytime we have a situation like this, keep an eye on the app. Is that the best way for those who may be flying today or picking up a relative?
Well, you know, the app has to be updated. And the question is how, if their system is down, how fast can they update the app? It's better than nothing, but you know what? Nothing else beats a conversation.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.